Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Tutorial Wednesday. This is a show where we talk about tutorials related to anything and everything camera related. Today we're going to talk about flight safety for the DJI Spark. Some of you have gotten this drone as your first drone and you may be afraid about flying them. Today I'm going to talk about flight safety, some safety checks you need to check before you actually fly the drone. So first lesson, the battery. Now right now before you fly, you should actually check the battery level. This one only has about 2 bars left, so I need to change the battery. Now the problem is most people, when they remove their battery, they just pull it out like this, right? This is not good, so I'm going to show you how I pull it out. I'm going to put one of my finger at the back and then I'm going to pull this out slowly, right? And then it should pop up safely. The reason why I do that is because there's this latch, this hinge over here. It's actually very delicate. There's a lot of cases of the battery popping away mid-flight, which is why a lot of drones just fell out from the sky because of this hinge over here. It's very, very fragile. So when you're removing the battery, remember to remove them slowly, just like what I did just now. Okay, now let's pop in the new batteries. Okay, now this is the official DJI guide on how to insert the battery. And to do that, all you need to do is just put the battery here and then slide in with 2 fingers. Bam! You should hear a click. You can test whether it's secure by just pulling it slightly. Don't pull it too much because it's going to wear out that hinge. And yeah, it looks like it's good. And then just check the battery level. Bam! Okay, so now the battery is changed. We should turn on the drone. So to do that, all you need to do is press once and press and hold, and it should turn on. And then I'm going to turn on my remote control as well. One thing to note is you should always fly with the remote and not just with the phone, because there are a lot of cases of drone flyaways and it's all caused by the losing of connection with the phone. So yeah, so I'm going to turn on the remote right now. Same method, just press once and then hold, and bam. So now I'm going to launch DJI Go. Okay, before you fly, you should always check the overall status, and all you need to do is just hit on this thing. Okay, it says I need an update for the firmware, which is fine. I'm going to ignore that for now. You should always update your firmware unless of course you're afraid that DJI screw up one of their firmware. You should always check the review online. I'm not updating to this one because there are some bad reviews of it online. If you see here, there's a warning that the compass is having an error. It asks you to calibrate. One important lesson is do not calibrate before every flight. You should always calibrate once in an environment that is free from any electromagnetic interference. And then after that, just don't calibrate for the next few months if possible. Like, you should only calibrate when you move to another country, etc. The reason for that is because when you calibrate in an environment where there's a lot of metal items around, like here, it's going to mess up with the compass, and when you take off, the drone may fly away. So that's something to be aware of. Okay, I'm going to show you how I check for sensor issues. So just navigate here and then hit on sensors, and then everything here should be green. This is the IMU, and if it's not green, you should calibrate it. There's a lot of interference right now with the compass, so I'm going to move it to somewhere where it's not interfering. Right, so now it's on the ground, so there's not much compass interference here. It's just some gimbal overloaded issues. Make sure that you have at least 10 GPS before you fly, and right now I have about 14. Okay, this is important because this is how it's going to return home when you lose signal to it. So don't fly if you have less than 10 satellites, and especially if you're on ATI mode. Okay, one other thing you need to check before you fly is actually check the weather around you. The other day I flew when it's dark clouds and I was assuming that it would not rain, but then the rain came really quickly and it was just in time when I landed before the first drop of water hits it. So yeah, just be aware of that before you actually fly. Right, before you fly, you should also check whether your return to home is set accurately. If you're near a lot of trees, you should always set it to a higher altitude for the return to home. I set it at 113 now, but that was because just now I was near a lot of really high buildings. If you're near buildings, you should always set it higher than the buildings. Right now I'm just near trees, so 30 meters is fine. Okay, make sure you're in a clear location, free from trees before you launch, and make sure your motors are all free from any entanglements. And then remember, in my previous episode, I mentioned that you should always start your motor first before you fly. This is to warm up the motor to avoid the newt problems, which is causing a lot of headaches everywhere. And then right now, we're gonna launch. Okay, this time it's working fine. Just bring it down safely, just gently. Alright, successful flight. So those are some flight checks you need to perform before you actually fly to prevent some flyaways and also your drone falling out from the sky. One thing I forgot to add is also you need to check the propellers, make sure there's no scratches on them, and when you pull on them, they are not removed from the drone, because that's very important. Yeah, I hope you like this really quick, short and simple tutorial. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give it a thumbs down. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget me.